What's up, everybody? So boxing seems to be in a state of transition right now. And when I talk about that, I mean, look at the outrage or the outcry or everybody having an opinion when it comes to one fighter that tested positive and then was cleared. Look at the response. And this isn't a Canelo, this isn't a Floyd Mayweather, it's Conor Benn. And you're getting reaction from a lot of fans in the United States and all over the world. In addition to that, we have changes that are coming within boxing to actual fights that are recorded on the record. And you look at OTX as being one of those because they have the overtime round, they have KO bonuses, and the other additions that they've made that have added excitement to the fight. You have Amanda Serrano, who's now going to have a match for 12 rounds, 3 minutes against Ramos, trying to push women to have 3-minute rounds. And there's another one. There's an 8-round, 3 minutes around fight that's taking place in Australia, I believe. So the push is coming. Whether the WBC wants to fall in line and maybe go along with this is another thing, but that push is coming. Women are trying to get 3-minute rounds. They're trying to prove that they can do it. So we'll see how that goes. But it just seems like there's a lot of change. And that change is also when it comes to the Olympics. And that's one of the things I definitely want to talk about, because there was concern whether boxing was going to be a part of the 2028 program that was going to take place in LA. We know it's going to be in Paris. Boxing will be on the program for Paris in 2024, but 2028 was a question. Well, that was addressed back in June in multiple fronts. And I just want to cover what's going to happen next. Now, if you didn't know, the IBA's recognition as the global body of the sport was stripped on June 22nd. The IBA is the International Boxing Association. It is the global body for the sport. That's what it was. It's no longer. And the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, stripped them as the global body recognition for its failure to complete reforms on governance, finance, and ethical issues. You know, anytime you have ethical issues with someone that's governing the sport, especially when you're talking about the Olympics, that's going to be bad news. And of course, the IBA, they pushed back on this. They called this a tremendous error, but their appeal was rejected by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, which is the sport's highest court. I'm going to read a couple things from this Reuters article. It did say the IOC had previously been suspended in 2019 over their governance, finance, refereeing, and ethical issues. And it did not involve it in running the boxing events at the Tokyo Olympics. I don't know if you guys knew that, but the IOC actually ran the boxing events that were leading up to the Tokyo Olympics versus the IBA. So the IBA has long been on its way out. And the boxing that's taking place in the 2024 Paris Games is going to be run by the IOC, not the IBA. And that was the same for the 2021 Games. But the IBA did say, despite the challenges, the IBA remains committed to the development of boxing, the preservation of its independence, and the organization of official tournaments and world boxing championships at the highest level. They say we possess the legal right to do so, and we are prepared to defend it before any appropriate authority. And this is where an entity called World Boxing comes into play. There's a breakaway group from the IBA known as World Boxing. Several countries have already left the IBA to join this new organization. And World Boxing put out a statement and said, this is a hugely significant moment for the sport. All natural boxing federations now have a critically important decision to make if they want boxers from their country to have the opportunity to compete at the Olympic Games at LA and beyond. We urge every national federation to join and support World Boxing in its efforts to ensure boxing remains at the heart of the Olympic movement. And that's a critical statement right there. Because while World Boxing didn't come out and say, or the IOC hasn't come out and said that, yeah, we're going to go with World Boxing as that entity that will be responsible for holding tournaments, etc., for the games in LA, you can already see that World Boxing is planning on doing so. And if you go to the worldboxing.org website, you can read under a press release. It says World Boxing was launched in April 2023 and aims to ensure that boxing remains at the heart of the Olympic movement. It will seek recognition from the IOC and plans to work constructively and collaboratively to develop a pathway that will preserve boxing's ongoing place on the Olympic competition program at Los Angeles 2028 and beyond. So they will be seeking recognition. They do have a meeting that's planned in November, where they will be voting for a range of offices, the president, the VP, and places on the World Boxing's executive board. So pretty much they are getting their ducks in a row to seek recognition from the IOC. It's almost, and I'm not saying there is, but it's almost like there's a handshake agreement that if you meet such and such, whatever the checklist that the IOC maybe put towards World Boxing, if you meet these requirements, we will consider you for recognition. And I believe that's exactly what World Boxing is doing. That's why they're bold enough to even say LA 2028 and beyond, because that's their plan. IBA is done. It's not coming back. They're going to still hold their events and do their thing, but I think eventually it will erode, especially when those countries don't cross over and they can have their fighters actually participate in the Olympic Games, because they're going to have to go through World Boxing in order to do it. And that's what we want, right? We just want a clean organization that is supported. The countries are all behind it. And we know there's not some BS that's going on behind the scenes, because anytime you're having ethical and referee problems in boxing, it affects people. We all saw about Shakur Stevenson, that reaction. We saw, well, Roy Jones, especially in the Olympics. We all see how that affects fighters. And not only can it affect them, mentally in the moment and going forward, knowing that they were robbed, or they felt like they were robbed of an opportunity, or a gold, silver, whatever, a medal in general, but it also affects them when they turn pro, because the higher they get, that medal can affect them. It can make them or give them more money when they turn pro, or help them get more money when they turn pro. So it's very important that the Olympics get this right, that the IOC gets this right. IBA's gone. We're about to enter the World Boxing phase, y'all. So you already know it's coming. So when you hear World Boxing is recognized as the body that will be the recognized amateur body for boxing going forward, you heard it here. It's coming. And some of y'all, especially if you're tuned in, you already know that it was coming. But I just want to do a quick video just to talk about this. I don't think it gets enough talk when you're hearing about boxing on YouTube or anything. So I think it's important that we also discuss Olympic boxing, amateurism, and is it safe for them to compete? And when I say safe, ethical. Is it ethical, really, for them to compete? And that was in question. They got that fixed, and World Boxing is now coming on the horizon. And I welcome it. I welcome it. I hope more countries get on board, and the black eye that the IBA caused can slowly dissipate. But that's all I have for this one. I appreciate y'all listening. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.